Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're diving straight into a really big shift happening in advertising and marketing. It's all about artificial intelligence.
That's right. And we've got some great material here, mainly drawing from a recent B&R DeGroat Tech Show interview with Victor Knapp. He's the CEO and co-founder of Monks, formerly Media Monks.
A huge name in the digital agency world.
Exactly. And for you listening, if you want to quickly understand these major industry changes without, wading through dense jargon, this should be really helpful.
Yeah, we're looking at how a top agency is actually handling this AI wave, how it affects the way brands communicate, promote things.
Our mission, let's call it, is to unpack how AI is really being adopted at a place like Monks. How does it change their business model? What does it mean for the wider industry, for jobs?
We'll touch on efficiency, creativity, the whole changing landscape of work. Okay, let's get into it. Victor Knapp talks about AI use at Monks. It sounds like it's everywhere, not just one corner.
That's a key point he makes. It's not easily quantifiable, like saying 20%
Right.
AI.
Yeah.
It's impacting pretty much all their end products.
Like what specifically?
Text, images, video, animation,
Yeah.
even things like front-end development for websites or 3D assets for VR and digital stuff.
So it's way beyond just using those consumer tools for a quick graphic.
Definitely. It's woven into the workflow for clients. Think copywriting, visuals, video production, audio. It spans across various steps.
And the initial push, the main reason they're using it so much right now seems to be efficiency.
Precisely. He talks about this huge, like, $100 billion market for content production and advertising. That's where AI is making the first big splash automating tasks.
Makes sense. Get things done faster, cheaper.
But he also flags that the next phase is AI moving more into the creative process itself. That's the future direction.
Right. I remember reading about that FD interview where he mentioned this shift from, say, set builders and camera crews to prompt engineers.
Yeah, that term really catches the eye, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds like a massive change in needed skills.
It signals a big shift, for sure. But importantly, he clarifies, those traditional roles aren't just disappearing overnight. It's more complex.
Okay, so what's happening instead?
He sees a kind of polarization emerging in the market. Two main trends with clients.
Polarization. Interesting. What are those trends?
Well, on one side, you still have strong demand for purely analog, very high-end, human-led creative work. Think Super Bowl commercials.
Ah, the blockbuster stuff.
Yeah.
Big budgets, top directors, pure human craft.
Exactly, that premium experience.
Yeah.
But then, on the other side,
There are clients jumping fully into AI.
yes, clients who are embracing AI for efficiency gains, even if the creative output isn't, perfect yet. The idea is the money saved can go back into media buying or exploring new things.
So reinvesting the savings, that makes strategic sense.
And this split, Knapp predicts, could really squeeze out the middle ground. Those VNDs, the various and numerous digital agencies, basically.
Right, the ones who aren't super high-end craftspeople or super AI efficient might struggle, adapt, or, well, fade away.
That seems to be his takeaway. It's a stark warning, really.
And the speed of this AI development has been incredible. You think back just a couple of years. AI, images, text, it wasn't quite there for professional use.
Not at all. The improvement is staggering.
So our big clients, the interview mentions names like BMW, Amazon, though not confirming their specific AI use with Monks. Are they rushing to use AI just to cut costs immediately?
Well, Knapp insists significant shifts are happening now. He gives a very concrete example, automating SEO content writing for clients like Amazon.
And that had real job impacts.
He mentioned it displaced hundreds of people. So yes, it's not hypothetical. It's affecting workflows and employment today.
Wow, okay, that really brings it home. And it leads right into the agency business model, traditionally built on billable hours. How does AI mess with that?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Knapp questions if AI can fully take over basic creativity. He notes competitors have huge teams, but maybe only a small percentage does the core creative spark.
So AI hits the production side harder.
Primarily, yes. Things like adapting ads for different languages. He used the example of French in Belgium. Or different formats, like for TikTok versus YouTube.
Or even swapping out casts for international campaigns.
Exactly. Automating those kinds of production-heavy tasks,
Yeah.
making campaign execution much more efficient.
But it's not just efficiency, is it? He mentioned that sign language avatar they developed in Japan, that felt more like quality enhancement.
Absolutely. That's a fantastic example. Using AI creatively to provide a real benefit, especially in emergencies. It shows potential beyond just cost-cutting. It's innovation, accessibility.
Yeah, that was impressive. But okay, with all this change come challenges. Beyond jobs, what about things like copyright, privacy, especially with big brands involved?
Definitely hot topics, as he put it. He shared an anecdote about a promotion agency using AI images that accidentally included Disney IP.
Oof. Yeah, that sounds like a legal minefield.
Big time. Though he did clarify, if Disney themselves commissioned the AI work, the risk profile changes.
Right, because they own the IP.
Precisely. And interestingly, he mentioned Disney is already using AI internally for post-production, animation tasks, generating backgrounds, hand movements, things like that.
So even traditionally high skill, but maybe repetitive animation work is being impacted?
It seems so. It touches various levels of the creative chain.
Okay, another challenge. Brand safety, accuracy.
Right.
If AI is generating content, how do you ensure it's right and safe for the brand?
Crucial point. Knapp stressed using first-party datasets, basically the brand's own verified information.
So the AI learns from the brand's own truth.
Exactly. To ensure consistency, legal accountability. His example was generating a car. It has to be the actual car they sell, not some AI fantasy version.
Makes total sense. You can't advertise vaporware. What about using virtual humans in ads? The ethics around that.
Yeah, that's a complex one. Knapp's take, from an advertising perspective, is less about his personal opinion and more about client goals and audience impact. Meaning, for instance, they might advise against using virtual humans for beauty products right now because of all the existing debate around filters and unrealistic standards. It could backfire.
Okay, context matters. But he sees potential elsewhere.
For sure. Like showcasing clothes on diverse virtual models in web shops, that's a practical application.
But it still raises questions about the impact on human models, actors.
Absolutely. He acknowledges the wider societal impact, potentially leading back to that blockbuster or cheap, dynamic, top human talent is valued. But maybe more routine work gets automated.
Which brings us back to jobs and adaptation. How does society handle this? The need for upskilling.
He sees it as a massive challenge. He compares Monk's market share to the Netherlands' global position, arguing the country could be a European tech leader. The talent, education, reputation are there.
But it requires effort.
A huge, coordinated national upskilling project is needed, he believes, to help people transition, to seize the opportunity.
Did Monks go through its own version of this adaptation when AI started hitting hard?
It sounds like it. He described their internal process, market research, listening really closely to stakeholders, then formulating a new strategy.
Sort of practicing what they preach.
Right. And he emphasizes the need for supportive government policies on data infrastructure, energy, tech investment to enable this kind of national shift.
And it's not a one-and-done thing, is it? He talked about the pull to just revert to old ways.
Yeah, that constant engagement with the new tools is key to actually getting the efficiency benefits. Otherwise, you just slide back.
Okay, let's tackle what Knapp called the most significant problem: monetizing AI-driven efficiency. The billing model issue.
Yes, the core conflict. If your agency bills by the hour and AI lets a designer do a job in half the time, what do?
Your revenue theoretically gets cut in half, right?
Exactly. There's an inherent disincentive for agencies to fully embrace efficiency if it craters their existing model.
So what's the solution he proposes?
Moving towards output-based billing, paying for the result, the deliverable, not the hours logged.
Sounds logical, but hard to implement.
Very. Especially with client procurement departments often locked into hourly rate structures. It's a big institutional shift.
And didn't he also mention the rising cost of the tech itself, like the NVIDIA chips needed for AI?
Good point. That investment in hardware is significant. It might even push hourly rates up just to cover the infrastructure costs, paradoxically.
So Monks is investing in their own approach.
Yeah, what he calls a human sauce model, blending their people's expertise with their own AI software tools offered as a service.
And that Puma commercial they did was an example of this.
Exactly. He positioned it as end-to-end AI, from insights gathering right through to final production. They're also building specific point solutions for things like photography and video.
But still facing pushback from some clients stuck on the old model.
Seems so. He described it as a twilight situation currently. Agencies might be getting paid the old way, but are already working faster using AI internally.
An awkward transition phase. He also mentioned a sharp drop in client spending on traditional photo shoots.
Yes, a dramatic example. A client going from a 12 million photo budget to asking for the same output for 750,000 euro using AI.
Wow. That feels like immense pressure.
He acknowledged it felt like a forced request. Do more for way less. But monks made the strategic call to just lean into it fully, embrace the AI transformation as the future.
That must be a painful internal process, especially as a public company.
No doubt. But Knapp's vision is ambitious. He wants monks to be the world's top marketing services company in 5–10 years by leading this change.
He contrasted that with just trying to harvest the old model, right? Cut costs, but don't really change.
Yeah, exactly. They're choosing investment and transformation over just managing decline. He seems incredibly convinced about the speed and scale of AI's impact, partly because they work closely with the AI developers.
So they have a front row seat.
Pretty much. But he also stressed it's not just about buying tools. It's hard work, dedication, changing how everyone operates.
And finally, he briefly mentioned external factors shaping the industry.
Yeah, just quickly touched on them. Cultural shifts, political winds, the ongoing dominance of the big tech platforms, Google, Meta, Amazon, Adobe, Salesforce.
And the economy, potential recessions.
Right. Agencies need to navigate all three: culture, platforms, economy to stay relevant.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, it's crystal clear. AI isn't just another tool for advertising. It's fundamentally changing the game.
Absolutely. From how content gets made, to the business models, to the skills needed, efficiency is the big driver now. But AI-powered creativity is definitely the next frontier.
And we've hit on the big challenges and opportunities, the need for new ways to charge clients, the ethical tightropes, and this huge societal need for upskilling.
It impacts anyone in or watching the industry.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener. How might these massive shifts in advertising foreshadow changes in other creative fields, or in knowledge work generally?
Yeah, what skills, what business models will be crucial in your world as AI becomes more integrated? It's definitely something to chew on, that balance between tech, human creativity, and economic reality.